The Shield Bash Forge Guard returns in this patch stronger than ever before. Now it can wield a two-handed mace with a shield thanks to Forge Master's Might in Forge Guard. This means that you can use Event Horizon for massive bossing damage. And the great thing about Event Horizon is that on this build with Shield Bash, it doesn't affect the attack speed of your main skill at all. So you actually just gain a lot of damage from it. The build stacks block effectiveness, block chance and strength for damage and defense. And the build is very tanky. It gets max block effect and max armor. So it's one of the more tanky builds in the game. It's still a slow build, so that's the drawback it has. It's limited by the AoE and the movement speed, so it's not a fast clear speed build, but very good for bossing and very safe for like hardcore and stuff like that. So the build is quite gear dependent, so you want to have Event Horizon before you even play this build, and ideally you would also get crit chance on it, so you need to have flat melee crit chance on the weapon to actually scale crit, but that's not too hard to get because it's a now guaranteed slam. And you of course want to stack, like I said, block chance, block effect, strength on your gear, so if you don't have those stats on your gear you also won't do damage. When it comes to gameplay, the build is quite simple, so using Shield Bash for damage, Healing Hands for movement and utility, Symbols of Hope, just passive buffs, and then Ring of Shields, you want to use it for its buffs like increased block effect and stuff like that. And Devouring Orb is the last skill. It gives you a little bit of more damage with Void Essence, so it's not really impactful. There's just not many choices we can have there, so you could use a Rebuke to like tank boss attacks, but usually it's not needed, you tank everything anyways. And the reason we can't use something like a Shield Throw for its buffs, it's because we have so low attack speed with Event Horizon, so that would affect Shield Throw, and it's actually a loss of DPS, even if it gives you buffs. Alright, let's get into the guide for Shield Bash. So, of course, Shield Bash as your main damage, and you scale the damage with stacking block effect and strength and also block chance. So you actually have a built-in more damage multiplier per block chance. So with max block you get 150% more damage, and then this gives you damage per block effect, so flat damage, and then more physical damage per strength. So you want to have those stats on your gear, of course, as much as possible. And the skill doesn't scale with attack speed, but this node here gives you attack speed per block chance. And to enable the Event Horizon slow multiplier that is on the weapon, of course we want to get 1 point here for the slow. Ring of Shields gives you a lot of block effect, block chance. It's a minion also, so because this is a minion, we can also use the Mantle of the Pale Ox body armor, so for the DR and other stats. So very good skill, gives you increased block effect when you get healed by a shield, and this also heals you when the shields die. So good uptime on the increased block effect. So this is a lot of damage, and of course tankiness as well. Gives you some block chance. So if you're missing block chance, this helps you cap it, and this gives you some duration here. And if you have extra points, if you don't need the block chance and stuff, of course you can max out the duration, and then you can get some tankiness for the shields also. Symbols of Hope, passive buffs, increased damage, crit chance, Endless Threshold, and of course block. Healing Hands, so we proc this with the Shield Bash with this node here on melee hit, and you make it a traversal skill, and then you get immunity while moving. And with this node, basically when you use the skill, you actually recover a lot of its cooldown back, because you're healing the Ring of Shields around you, so very nice for the cooldown reduction. And then these ones for the damage reduction, so Void, Necrotic, less damage taken, and then just make it a melee attack with these nodes here, and 0 mana cost with these. And lastly, Devouring Orb, so this is not super impactful, but gives you Void Essences for 9% more damage, and also some stun mitigation. So the last skill is very not so great, but there's not many choices. We have such low attack speed, so we can't really use anything else here. Rebuke would be usable, but usually not needed. For the passives, usual stuff on the Sentinel base tree, strength, vitality, damage reduction, and then the block chance. On Forge Guard, you want to get, of course, Forge Master's Might to actually be able to use Event Horizon and a shield at the same time. So very crucial node. You of course must have this. So you rush to this node, and then for the other stuff, This is good for the block chance, a bit of block effect also, a lot of strength of course, so you want to get all the strength you possibly can. This gives you crit multi per strength, and we have a lot of strength, so very good. Armor shred, so this with this node and the one in the shield bash 3, you're actually pretty decent already on armor shred. You can get another affix on like aspirational gear and stuff, or you can also seal it on your gloves earlier on, but it's not required. It is already pretty good just with this node. Strength, HP, crit, and also physical pen per strength, so very good strength scaling with the crit multi and then the physical pen. And of course the actual more damage from shield bash itself. Less damage taken, double with high block chance, so 10% less damage taken here. So this procs shields on block, so when you block you get shields and you also get block effect per shield. So very good node. And this one is strength and also frailty and also reduce bonus damage taken from crits, so you get both of the bonuses here, so you get a two-hander and a shield bonus, so very good. And for the paladin, so the usual 15 points to unlock Symbols of Hope, and for Void Knight getting the DR threshold here, resistances also, area helps with the clear, and then crit multiplier, crit chance, and the last points into a bit more strength. And for the gear, of course, Event Horizon, very good item, very important. So you can play the build even without the crit on it, but at least you should have the weapon. It's just a lot of damage, and it's a two-hander, and we of course want to have it. So, and ideally you do get your crit chance on it, so you can actually scale a crit. Otherwise, it's gonna be very hard crit scaling. Of course, this is a guaranteed slam, so just slam. Even a T5 would be completely fine, but of course a T7 is much better. And for the shield, Hordes of Ukairos for a lot of block effectiveness, strength, increased melee damage. It does increase the mana cost, so you do want to have the Sentinel Relic base here with the minus melee mana cost. If you don't have the Weaver's Will Relic, you can also of course use the just the base as an exalted item or rare item. But this is of course nice, the relic for the armor apply to dot, and then +1 as well, and other stuff like that. You only really need strength on it. So for the body armor, Mantle of the Pale Ox for the damage redirected to minions. So basically 24% less damage taken pretty much. You always have at least some minion with the Ring of Shields, and then you also get a lot of strength, you get a lot of movement speed, HP. So this is better than Titanheart, but Titanheart is also of course usable. This even gives you +2 strength minion skills, so very good. The boots, quite important for bossing, so you want to be standing still while bossing to get 0 mana cost, because if you're just constantly spamming for a long time, you will run out of mana even with the relic base and everything. So just stand still. You don't need to worry about anything anyways, you can't die to anything, so stand still and bonk the boss, and that's how you do the bossing. For mapping, you don't need to stand still. Of course, if you spam for a long time, then you might have to, but I haven't had the need myself. If you struggle with mana while mapping, of course you can get a mana regen affix on your rings, for example, or amulet. You could especially get like just like a rare ring, for example, with mana regen instead of the Ocearon, for example, if you struggle with mana in mapping. And then for the belt and ring, classic Doom belt, Doom ring for the massive increase to damage, so increased damage taken and then more damage per Doom, so very good. So the amulet here is just for the stats. We of course don't care about the bone curse things. So physical damage, vitality, all res, all attributes, and physical or necro res, so very good. It's quite a common item as well. Of course, you can also use just like a rare. You could also do the damage over less damage over time taken base is also completely fine. And in aspirational, you can go for Nihilist. And for the rings, like I said, Oceron. So it just gives you chill, shock, more damage, less damage taken, very good. And the shock is quite impactful on the build because we have a lot of stun chance. So we're also going for the shock blessing. So you can perma-stun even Aberroth, like I showed there on the intro. For gloves, just classic Eternal Gauntlets. And of course you want to prioritize block chance on everything, strength, and then block effectiveness also on the block chance affix. And as you can see, we have a lot of strength, Aspirational has actually 200 strength, so going pretty crazy there. You get just a lot of damage from it. They're super tanky. You have way too much armor. You have max block and capped block effect and everything, so very good. And for the aspirational, we're going for the Immortal Vice for even more tankiness. We don't care about the attack speed, of course, but it's just a great item anyways. So we're prioritizing the strength. Of course, you could also go T7 hybrid here instead, but getting more damage is pretty nice for sure. And then the Nihilist, like I said, otherwise just more affixes here. So if you get 2 LP Event Horizon, this is pretty crazy. You're gonna deal a lot of damage with this for sure. Idols, so increase crit chance, block effectiveness on the big idols here, and then movement speed would be the ideal enchant. You can also go in crit chance enchant T7. I quite like the movement speed on this build, so you can be a little bit faster at least. And then on the stout idols here, just HP block effect, very good idols. And on the small ones, mana regen, HP, and any kind of res you need. So lightning res, cold res, depends on your needs. You can always get resistance on the suffix. For blessings, yeah, shock for the stun and for Oseron. You want to have it for to get easy max stacks on the more damage also. Block effect and block chance, armor, all res and crit multiplier. So yeah, that's the build. Overall, very strong build for especially bossing. Has a very good single target damage now with the two-hander setup. It's still, of course, small AoE and it's not like super fast, so the clear speed is not gonna be anything too crazy, but very, very nice melee build, very Giga Chad build. So yeah, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.